Hey there, Catfish. I appreciate you being patient. I can't see how many other people are in the room right now. So if you're in the room, make sure you leave a comment because otherwise I don't know that you're in the room. Give me just a second and I'll be right there with you guys. You should be able to hear me right now. According to my computer, you can. So somebody out there, give me a confirmation real quick that you can hear me just fine. Or I'm going to go into panic mode and everything's going to suck real fast. Whoa. Can hear me really awesome. That's what I like. I like being able to tell that people can actually hear me, and them thinking I'm really awesome is a help too. Dad joke. I don't have much dad jokes. Most of my jokes are little Johnny jokes. Like, why did little Johnny always knock on the tree? To see if there were squirrels inside first. Actually, the joke I heard is way longer than that, way grosser than that, and way more crass than what I just said. So thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate y'all for being in the room. I have had a ridiculous week, to tell you the truth. I woke up in the morning and my roof had a crack. My ceiling had a crack in it, and it was raining inside of the living room onto a pallet of clothing, a Gaylord of clothing. If you know what a Gaylord is just a really large box, and there's like 4-foot Gaylords and 6-foot Gaylords and like 9-foot Gaylords, and they're usually like 40 by 48 by those other feet I just said. So it was raining into the box, and I ended up losing a whole bunch of clothing to it, and I had to itemize the clothing for insurance, and there's still a hole in my roof. They sent repairmen out to my roof and to repair the roof, not the ceiling. And then it rained the next day, and it was pouring directly into my house like a river from the last video you guys saw. I posted that video up. That was the video I sent the insurance to. And it hasn't gotten better from there. It seemed like my landlord was really on top of the ceiling and the roof, and then all of a sudden they're telling me what I want to hear, but nothing's happening. And then the insurance company, apparently I'm underinsured or I'm insured on the wrong things. According to them, when I started looking at things, I think they might be wrong, and they might just be dipping out on what they actually owe me. But I was hoping to get 50% of what the actual loss was, the retail value of the loss, and instead I got 25% because that's what my policy maxes out at for business items, business property. My issue, though, is I looked up business property after I got told this, and they already sent me the money. I looked up business property, and business property actually talks about property that's owned by a business. Well, that property is not actually owned by a business. It was owned by me. I bought it before I actually registered anything for a business. I don't have a business account yet. It's actually personal property to be sold to make money off of. So I wonder if I'm in a gray area or if I'm just wrong. Or they're right. I should say not I'm wrong. That it's considered business property because you bought it for the intent of making money off of reselling it. Because, I mean, according to that thought process, they paid me what they owe me. But if it's that it matters that it's owned by an actual business entity, then they owe me a lot more than what they paid me. So that's where I am on that. And hi, guys. What are you doing? Thanks for telling me you hear me really awesome. I should probably make the chat a little bit smaller so I can see more at a time. Should definitely do that. I definitely made it a little bit too big for a minute there. There we go. Oh, now it's almost too hard to see. Let's go up to like 22, 23. There we go. So it looks like it's me and Catfish and Keenan. Thanks for being here, Keenan. I think there was somebody else in the room I saw too that I missed the name. I'm pretty sure Margaret's here because Margaret was contacting me and asking me if I was going to do this video, and I had planned on doing this video a little bit earlier, but I end up having one of those scenarios where I had to order food from Walmart, and I had to have it delivered because I can't get there. It's too hot outside for me to ride my bike there. I'll fucking die. I won't die, but it'll be really, really hard. So I had food delivered. The only time to have it delivered when I ordered it really, really early in the morning was between 7 and 8. And with everything else I had going on, it took me forever to get stones prepped. And originally, I was going to end up working on a bunch of these, but I didn't want to yet. But I have a couple buyers lined up for some of my stuff right here. But I didn't want to yet. Honestly, I wanted to pull out something I had talked about working on previously, you know. So I grabbed the big green one out, the one that I had talked about earlier. Should I recut this or not in a previous video? Because there's two stones I've sort of left you guys hanging on. It's this stone and the stone that is this rough worth $500. So I have both of those still. Stupid autofocus will not do what I want it to. Oh, there, it's locked on now. So the reasons for recutting this stone. Stupid autofocus, work with me here, homie. You're supposed to be my friend. So reasons for reworking this stone, right? One, whoops. Well, I just dropped it. It's going to look better now. It just dropped in some water. So this top section is purple and blue, and it really doesn't show up very good. It shows up sort of dull. That purple and blue might just be just a hair deeper, like you can see from that angle right there. You can really see that blue. So if I just rework this top section, that purple and blue might show up better. But in reality, I'm going to go deeper than that. Because of what was shown back on this back section, if you don't remember or you weren't here, is it looked like there was a purple bar on top of a red bar, and that red bar is on top of the blue bar, and they actually look like really, really thick color bars. Like, and that's the rare thing, is that the color bars being so thick and breaking at just an angle, you can see that they're all stacked on top of each other. Oh, I think my I'm gonna have to make a new camera stand because this one looks like it's about to give out on me. Hey, Kaliko, or I mean, hey, Margaret. I'm talking to my damn self. What's wrong with me? Keenan said, "No worries. Thanks for your vids. I've just started with the fire agate, and you've helped a lot. Good. I'm glad I've been helpful to you. I had somebody else that's deeper in the gem carving or gemstone cutting industry, and they pretty much told me that I should stop. They pretty much told me that I should start putting up fewer videos that give less specific advice, and then start selling you guys a masterclass after I start putting out the stones that I have, because I've hit the level I wanted to. But he's thinking that maybe I'm giving something away for free that I could be selling for $1,000 or $2,000 with the full kit of what you need in order to carve like this, and at the same time be able to polish it just right all the way through the process. And I need to back the camera because it really does not want to sit right here right now for some reason. And on the other good news for my live streamers that come and watch this, because most people don't, and most people get here for a minute and they're like, oh yeah, he talks too much or some crap like that, and they're out. I have been talking with some people that are interested in making some sort of a show for actual television with me, and that would be fantastic for the pocketbook. It might take me out of the realm of making YouTube videos on a regular basis, but honestly, I think what it would do is make to where I'm putting up YouTube videos that are more for you guys to see what's going to be coming out soon on their show, which would just mean a better production value and us being able to do things on a real basis afterwards. So I'm super stoked about that. I actually don't think anything will come of it, because that's the way my life goes. I'm not a lucky person. You know what I'm saying? Putting my mask on real quick. Once I find the damn thing, I thought I said I rearranged everything. The table's not on stilts anymore, or the stand is not on stilts anymore. I cut a hole in the bottom of my table and recessed the water trough. And the reason there's not going to be a video of that is, holy shit, these tables are way more tough than you think they are. A few more layers, they might work as bulletproof vests. I think it would too. I think there's... Damn, man, this... There we go. I think there's no trusting the YouTube algorithm, because once I started seeing guys like Pioneer Poly started having problems, I definitely didn't think there was any trusting the YouTube algorithm at all. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm just brushing on the blue and purple just to see if it exposes a lot better or something. And the main thing when you're at levels where the color's already showing and you're using hard burrs is to run your burr where you want to, but literally it's just sitting on the surface and moving. It's not pressing at all. Like, that's the key to finishing stones out the way I'm finishing stones out, especially, is no pressure. And it's just a fact that some people give bad advice on this stuff. So if you're watching the live streams and not just the 1-minute videos, you're going to learn a lot more over time because you actually see my progress, and I am honest with you about it. I don't give bad advice. If I found something to be bad for me, I'm not going to tell you to do it. I have so many jokes about my life after saying that statement. First one is, why the hell would you listen to anybody? Gone through the kind of crap I have, seems like it's probably a bad idea. Oh, I forgot my little finger condom. I've been getting really bad sores on the side of my finger. And it's from the edge of this hitting my thumb. So I cut this off so I don't have to wear gloves on everything. And it protects my thumb where this will end up rubbing against on a regular basis. So if you look at this just right, you can see the layer with this really bright on top, right? You can see it's really bright on top layer. And you can see where that layer stops on the edge right there, where the stone dips down. And then underneath that, you can see another green layer. And then underneath that, you can see a brown layer. And another layer that looks sort of bronze or orange right there. So when you can see what's going on, you have to actually respect what you can see
and assume that it is the way you want to work it is along that map, right? It's giving you a map that you can follow. Come on, camera, get with me. Ah! There we go. There you go. Now it's on it. I'm trying to get the little auto box. So it appears underneath that orange that there's some green. But it's so thin, it also appears that maybe that green is the last thing. So underneath that orange, I might just want to leave that orange there and not pry it away trying to make the stone green the whole way. I mean, I might want to, but I've already seen the thing break over here in these gray colors that are in here. I'm not sure what a potting station looks like, as long as it works for you, man. So thin. Like, I can see the green underneath the orange, but it's so thin. So here's something I've learned over carving stones and ruining a few, right? So you can see over here you got this great color. It leaves on the edge, but that edge isn't so bad. Like, it's not so bad because you can still see the green. You can still see that green, and you can still see the red. Like, it still turns around the stone and grabs that really great. And now the purple and the blue is really showing up on top also. So I can go ahead and polish this the way it sits. There's still this back end where we have this color showing up right here, and it's sort of ledgy. I can feel it. So if I want to take these colors over this direction, instead of starting here where the color's going away, but I sort of have it fixed a little bit, what I can do is start where the color's sort of dim on this section right here. You see that one sort of gray spot? There's color underneath that gray spot, and it's great. So I can expose that gray spot and then decide what I want to do going over the rest of the stone because of all this neon lightning that I have up here. That's why I put on a much smaller tip. Smaller tip is so I don't have to actually go over the ledge of the gray color, and I can just go ahead and go over this gray. No pressure. Like, I can feel the burrs touching the stone, but I'm not pushing down at all. I'm drawing, or I'm tracing. I'm tracing extremely lightly. And I'm trying to go over the whole thing instead of just one section of this part, at least, of that gray section. This might take longer than just go ahead and peel off the top, but I'm preserving if I were to go across it and then that color not be there the way I want it to. Or maybe it's really thick on the back side, but not really thick on the top side. A lot of times when you have really great colors intermixing on the top, is because they're not thick or they don't run the whole stone. Damn it, that fucking mosquito got away. Mosquito right in front of my face, right in all the wind in the... Yeah, I can't do a back carving station on the back porch. I tried that. Mosquito City here. I got him in my damn house. That's where I go talking about how hard purple and blue are to catch with the naked eye or the camera. Like, they're totally there, but They just don't show up as good. There's the purple I was talking about, and it's on top of a red and a green. That's a red sitting on top of a green. Almost looks like a brown, but it's not. But then when you look at this stone on top, that blue in the center, it's showing up great right now, this sort of pool. I realized I wasn't on camera. Sorry, guys. Stupid camera, damn it. Doesn't want to work with me all the time. Yeah. Ugh, man. It's hard for me to get rid of that green because green is my favorite color. But if I just go for it, I can make a more symmetrical gemstone. And it should be color the whole way around instead of sort of that edge dead spot that turns to a different color green. So if I'm going to do something like this, then I'm going to use a 300 to 400. I can't remember if it's 200 to 300 or 300 to 400 burr. Because I feel like I'm making a huge mistake. But hell, if you're going to do it, the reason I use this is so when I get down to that color, I waste less of it, but it's more aggressive than a 600. Because if I just keep going with a 600, I can go through some of these colors that are on top. I might even be able to expose just more of that blue, actually. That might be what I want to do first. Might just want to go ahead and see if... Yeah, I made my decision. I'm moving on. It's hard to cut past a color that's that damn good. It really is. And I start on the wrong side. Sorry about blocking the camera, guys. Thing looks really cool up close. Alright, switching over to my 600. Somebody else type something. It's been too long since I had a comment. All I can see is the last thing Margaret said. So if you're not, I don't see something different soon, then I know I gotta change something. Something's not working like it should. Thank you guys, appreciate that. I just looked up, I'm so focused. Got Primus in my head, Jim is a race car driver. My pedal must have moved. I thought I was putting pressure on it and it wasn't going any faster. You can tell what crease you gotta go over and you can see the lines, right? So if it's got a shadow at different angles and you want to keep turning the stone and try and get rid of those shadows at those angles. Yeah, be careful sometimes though, because like you got this one spot right here, right? It exposed blue and purple from almost all angles, so I want to go around that, but I don't. Oh shit, my bad. So that one little spot right there has got blue and purple really showing up right there. So I want to go around that and not touch that spot and go around the rest of it because I want all that to show up everywhere at once, right? If I just keep going on everything, I just keep running my burr on everything, then I'm going to end up with a stone that's totally directional. But if I just touch the spots that are not at all directions yet, then I can hopefully expose that properly. Sometimes that won't happen, and you'll get a dead spot, and you'll notice it's gone through the next layer. Whoops, and you'll notice it's gone through the next layer, which I don't have that yet. And then at that point, you want to decide whether you're trying to cut to the next layer, or whether you're trying to take the stone you already got. Which for me, we know I'm taking the stone underneath. Like, look at that right there. I see why. Now my pedal was sideways. Boy, I got so many colors working on the top of this stone now, though, for real. We're trying to get it to be really, really bright. So we're trying to get rid of, like, this shadow. When y'all look at it right there, you see that shadow right there? Like, we're trying to get rid of that shadow. We're trying to make that appear like the rest of it. Now, it might not happen. It might go away. Trying to make that appear like the rest of it just might make that bit of color go away. I'm at a 600. Jeff, right now, I'm at a 600. With my style of carving, we generally don't use Nova points anymore. They're gone. We are hard burrs from Varancore and Deshine polishes. Deshine is getting back to me soon about a link they're supposed to put up for you guys to buy an all-in-one package to polish with. No decisions need to be made. You just follow what my video says, polish like that, and you should come out with a fantastic stone. If you carve it to not have any tool marks. I'm using really, really light pressure, but look at how the stone is starting to look. Notice how much more the color is showing up from more angles. I'm working on the shady parts, the parts that aren't showing up from all angles. I'm finding an angle where they're shady, and I'm just brushing it really lightly with my burr. Pro tips here, people. Pro tips. If you are just interested in hurrying and getting the stone done fast, then you're gonna lose the art. And if you're gonna carve fire agate and you're going to sell this to a jeweler, you would rather be known as an artist than a production worker. A production worker puts out stuff that everybody can put out. An artist gets paid for their artwork. Sooner or later, hopefully. Maybe when you're dead. But at some point, damn it. As far as a flashy fire agate goes, man, this one's just really hard to beat. There's this dark spot in it that sort of throws me. I wonder if it'll go away if I polish it a little bit. Oh, mosquito! Fuck, he got away. God damn it! Fucking mosquito in my house. Guaranteed I'm gonna wake up with 18 different bites. The problem with little dark spots is sometimes they're nothing when you polish them. And other times it's because you accidentally knocked a flat spot. And if you keep trying to get rid of the dark spot, what you really end up doing is getting rid of more color. I do see a little bit of a flat spot right there. Oh, fucking mosquito, get away! I'm wearing my reading glasses, so I can't fucking see him properly. So I'm doing up close work, right? So I'm wearing my reading glasses. Damn mosquitoes! I like all those comments, guys. None of us want to work for production. Everybody would rather be noticed as an artist. And here's the other thing, right? Here's something I was telling somebody else too is right now, there's only a handful of people in the world that truly carve fire agate to be a real gemstone. Most people don't carve fire agate to be a real gemstone. Most people cut fire agate on a wheel to make a buck. So, in that note, I think we should all stick with exactly what everybody's already thinking and what I already said too. A little bit of extra time, a lot of extra care, Maybe you'll be one of the people that makes this stone worth what it should be worth. Because it sure as hell should be worth more than it is in the rough market. And most stones that are actually worth the money, they sell in the private market, and most people don't even know what they sell for. If the person had asked me the really great question about taking a stone that has no color and lots of chalcedony to a stone that has color, I am planning on making that video if they happen to be watching this. That will be coming up soon. I have the perfect stone for that. As a matter of fact, I have it right here. This is from Slaughter Mountain. I already know there's going to be color in that thing somewhere. So I will be going through a bunch of videos on how to do that. I'm going to do shorts videos and some longer versions of the shorts videos on that. Thank you, Margaret. Oh, what do you mean? Are you talking about of the burr? That depends on how much of the stone I'm trying to touch. So if I'm trying to touch the whole face of the stone, I'll go ahead and use the broadside. But if I'm trying to just get this curve inside of that crease, which once again, this stone is mad purple to me straight on. Yet the camera, it's only purple in like turning. And there's that green right below. But to me, it's mad purple from straight on. Purple with blues. Anyways, so it depends on what part of the stone I'm working and how much of the stone I want to touch. So if I just want to use this little section right here, but really it's about no pressure. No pressure and not overworking a stone and trying to work with the natural curvature of the stone that the lines are trying to tell you is there. See those creases? Those creases are trying to tell you that that's supposed to be shaped like that. So if you follow the curvature that's trying to tell you is already there, you're going to end up exposing a better stone in the long run. Although you're right, in general, using more of the burr will lead to less tool marks, typically. But then I have little spots right here, right? So you see that really purple spot right there, right in that purple spot? That purple spot is the next really, really bright layer. There's a really bright purple layer under here. But if I go and I use the broad section of my head over that whole area, then that spot is going to end up dead or a different color. Whereas if I want to expose and try and get to all purple, or purple being the main base color with whatever colors are floating on top, then I need to circle around that exact purple spot to where I'm working the rest of it, but I'm not touching that spot or any spot that's as bright as that spot, so that those spots don't go dead. So I don't overwork those areas. And that's why you'll see me doing really light touches in like a stroke instead of just working the whole thing. This is something I've learned from working on stones that have little nubs sticking out of them. So like I'm trying to work that purple line or that orange line. If I can get rid of that orange line and it's just green crawling up the stone to purple, I like it better. And if that orange line starts turning to green that turns into purple, and Margaret, you already know if you ever have any questions, you can always call me. You're on the personal list. So that little section of orange right there went to green. You can't barely see it. So it's definitely a dark, like forest green, but it's for sure a green. But once again, I have that same issue to where if I want to work this edge, I have to work these oranges without touching that green, or the green's going to disappear. And we want all colors as bright as possible because orange and yellow are much better than no color. And when I'm working on colors that are like this, I'm definitely way more careful. I'm trying to be conscious of the way I expect the stone to show up or be done. I'm sorry, I'm not on camera. I almost think there's a black dot of agate right there. I have this little, oh, there's a little flash of green. Nope, it's below it. Right above that little flash of green, there is a spot that has absolutely no color. And I can't seem to do anything to get color to show up there. Colors almost showed up everywhere else all at once. Like I have it almost the whole stone with that one little section. on this stone, even when the colors are layered really well, they're really thin on this one edge, because this edge did the same thing to me with this layer that it did with the other really bright green layers. On the edge, it just disappeared. Like maybe the stone needed to be wider than it actually is, like the color drifted across or something. But the blue and the green and the purple is really bright, especially when the stone is turning. Like if the stone is turning, the color of the blue and the purple is really great. And see, I keep accidentally brushing the purple section, and that one section of purple is so bright that it's going to go white, and then it's going to disappear on me if I brush it anymore. Like that one edge right there, I cannot touch that again. That has to go to polish. I can't touch it anymore. Alright, it's a really, really good stone right now. It's a really, really good stone right now. There is a little spot in it, a little black spot, but all the rest of the color is so good, I don't even care about it. You can see it right there. Do you see the black hole? That's what this would have to be called. It'd have to be called the black hole. See it? That flash, I'm flashing the flash right over the tiny little black hole. No idea where the black hole came from. I really wish it would go away, but honestly, I don't think it's going to. And I think I'm just going to lose color messing with it. If I keep messing with it, I think I'm just going to lose the really great colors I have going on in this stone. Yellows and greens and blues. There's only one color I don't have showing up here real bright, and that's red. Red's got the yellow on top, so it's totally showing up like a fire red. Hey there, Cherie. How you doing, girl? But come on, if this was an opal, what would it be worth? Because right now, that color is all on to me. Like, look. Let me dry it up real quick. That's my 600 polish. Got back here to the... focus, stupid thing. You can see the lip. Not quite perfect. Might be able to fix that. gotta get a smaller burr to fix that one. My tiny little flame tips that are disappearing. So what we want to do is try and get rid of the obvious ledge. Like you're going to tell it's not perfectly symmetrical, but we want to keep all the color and as much as possible get rid of the line. It's fine that it's there, we just don't want to make it so dramatic. Thank you, Shuri. Appreciate that. Focus, camera. There we go. See how it's still like a hair lip, but it's not a hard line? My biggest issue. Once it polishes, if it's a hard line, it's way more of a problem. If it's a smooth transition, it'll go okay. Yeah, I think these colors stop right at the edge. And I think down below is just pretty much the bronze and orange. Trick is getting what you want away and off of the stone, while at the same time getting the color the proper direction. Pressure is the biggest issue, though. Pressure and flat spots. You gotta try and expose this stuff without using pressure that creates flat spots. Especially when it looks like the blue is the last color before the next major color bar. Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm not on the I'm not on the screen at all, am I? Can't even say the word screen. So my little zero black hole I haven't been able to get rid of. Color at the top is really cool. And I'm not sure if I can make it any cooler. Drying it off real quick. Camera does not want to stay focused because it's so shady. Not that the camera is so shady, that the stone is so waxy looking so it can't pull a really tight focus. I think that's probably ready to go though. Rolls right up to the line and then goes for the purple and the blue. We got that little streak of rust right there, but it really doesn't matter because it's all colors, so when it ends up being all shined up, that bit of rust is probably going to be blue or something. The way it looks when it's wet. When it's wet, that thing's not even there. I don't know. I'm thinking that's pretty awesome. What are you guys thinking? I'd stop. That's gorgeous. That's what Sheree thinks. I think it's pretty awesome looking too. I gotta go pee real quick. I'll be right back, guys. Just give me. Oh, I dropped the remote. Give me a minute.
All right, so back for a second, taking a real quick break because one of the things I've learned is that if you want to carve fire agate and get a full work of fire agate done, like if you want to carve 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, you can't do it nonstop. Get all that dust off the microphone. There's a lot of water and dust on the microphone cover. Sorry for your ears. Anyways, so you need to work in shifts. You need to go ahead and work until, things are feeling a little bit stiff, and you need to stop for a few minutes, stretch your fingers. Here's a couple of good stretches, which is basically standing up. You put your elbow to your hip, and then you put your fingers back to your wrist just until it feels tight and stretched. And then you do that with each finger and your thumb, bending that back to the wrist. Do that multiple times through the day, and that'll help stretch the tendons that you're usually working when you're doing this sort of stuff. If you're going to do it a lot on a regular basis, it's a big deal because this sort of stuff will give you tendonitis really fast. That, just like digging in the ground with hand tools, will give you tendonitis really fast also. Glad you guys are doing okay. Are you ladies the only ones we have in the room? Not that that matters, it doesn't, but let's see. Oh. Turn that off or it demonetizes me because apparently if you play commercials on the wrong things. Oh, that's not what I'm supposed to be looking at. Let's see. Do we have more than 3 people in the room? 13 watching. Oh my goodness. Color me super surprised. Happy you're here, 13 people. Happy I can be giving that many people advice at once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this. And I'm going to show you some more stones here in a second. The process I have for the way that I'm cutting stones is not about quickness. It's about art, as we spoke about earlier. Because trying to cut stones the way people had told me to cut stones the quickest way didn't work. I did not come out with a quality product. And as you guys if you've been with me for a few years, you know I'm like a mid-level guy with the way most of my stuff comes out, even when I put a shit ton of work into it. So I like to put in my level of a shit ton of work, because at the point to where I actually put out really, really great work, then that makes it worth it. Because when I look at my work as opposed to the people I think the masters are, typically the stuff I put a lot of time into is still mid-level work. So it's been like that for me for a long time. So I shoot for higher than I think I'm capable of, in hopes of getting at least pushing what I actually am capable of. And that's with me personally. That's my own personal thing right there. On the fire agate scale, with this fire agate specifically, and with the Slaughter Mountain stuff I've carved, I am getting to a level that I can appreciate myself, a level that I'm happy to put out, a level to where I don't want to sell it at bargain basement prices. I'm trying to work with a few jewelers that are happy to pay the proper price to get a top level quality gemstone that their customers will pay for from them. So that's what's been going on with that one. And I'm going to show you guys some more stones I've been working on right now. So some of these we've worked on together recently, and some of them we haven't, and some of them you guys have seen some pictures of, and some of them you haven't. This stupid camera. I'll bet you I need to clean the actual lens is probably what's happening. The lens is probably not happily cleaned. There's another one of those that's mainly purples and greens. I've got the 600 so waxy on there that the water doesn't even want to stick to it, which that's a really good sign. When your water doesn't want to stick to the stone and you've only used hard burrs down to a 600 to 800 on it, that's a really good sign that you are ready for the next stage. You know, water, although breaking the surface tension with a little bit of Dawn can help too. Here's a stone you guys saw the other night that there are going to be some short videos coming out of. It is monster red and green. And now I understand why red is the most valuable color in sunstones, in fire agate and sunstones. Red is the most valuable color in fire agate. One, because it is generally the most valuable color in opal. And number two, because it's the hardest color to carve. You will see red and it'll be on top of bronze, or you will have a red that has a yellow on top of it and it'll look orange. So capturing the red can be super duper difficult. So this is going to make a fantastic, amazing ring stone right here. It's going to be red and green with mainly reds with highlights of yellow here and there. But the stone is absolutely fantastic, and you guys got a shot of this stone just the other day. Well, purple is the color of royalty, and it is also one of the most difficult colors to capture in fire agate because purple tends to be backed by gray. There tends to be, and the only time I ever see gray is on top of a purple for some reason, but there tends to be a gray layer a lot, either on top or right below of a purple colored stone. Less so with Slaughter Mountain than anywhere else. A lot more times you'll have purple that'll be on the same layer as a red or a green with a Slaughter Mountain, whereas with Opal Hill, which is where I carve most of my fire agate from, I really like this stone. This stone's been a giant pain in the ass for me. I thought it was going to be one bright red color, And now I think it's going to be a mix of red and yellow and green. But it's a really great stone. Almost all of these are ready for polish. I'm preparing everything to get ready for polish, and then I'm going to do a polishing video with Deshine products. Deshine has sent me a gift for some of my viewers, but it's not really a gift, it's a trade. I am making a video, contracted a video for what I got from them. And I get to share some of that. Let's be honest. I don't get to. I am sharing some of that with some of my viewers. And they're also going to have a link where you guys are going to be able to buy exactly what you need, to where if you're following my carving instructions, to get a polish as quick as possible. Because the polish we can do quick. The polish is not the part that's difficult, and you shouldn't be taking too much time doing that, no more than an hour on the polish. But getting to the polish, that's the part. Anybody else see Cartman here? I see a Christmas Cartman waving. Do you see the glove and the little mitten, right? Like, I see Cartman. My family's color is purple. That's my family's color. And when I say my family, I mean like my wife and children. The general family's colors are green and blue, but the overall family's color is purple. So this one looked like it wasn't going to be much. And then when it got all excuse me, when it got all ready to go, you guys are seeing much more yellow than I see in it. To the naked eye, it is really, really red. For what I'm seeing on the screen right now, I'm seeing a lot of yellow. To my eye, I see a lot of red with like a fiery yellow behind it here and there. And almost the whole stone is completely lit with color. There we go. Almost all of these are going to be taken to polish really soon. Some of them are going to go to repolish because they've had some other work done on them. This one, the red on top of this green is so blood, and it has a little hint of like purple in it, that I'm not sure how it's going to polish out. Because, I mean, that is absolutely, like, to my eye, it is a dead red with a green underneath. Yet, for what you guys are seeing, it's like a black on top of a green. What do you mean you wish you saw the red the way I do? You wish you could capture it because you don't see it until you're going through it? I'm not sure exactly why, but green in fire agate is the most bright color. Hands down, no color is near as bright as green in fire agate. And this is one of those rare stones that when I found in the ground, it came out looking really, really great. It's only been brushed up very little bit here and there. And I think that when I actually polish this, that some of these bronzes are going to end up turning into other colors, because that happens sometimes, that the color bars are so thin that when I go to polish it, it'll change it. Whereas if I go and hit it with a 600, it just might go away. Stay focused, damn camera. A good majority of these stones are stones that I had worked on at one point in time or another and ended up fixing. Like this. This is a purple stone that I worked live that I shouldn't have that day. But since then, I found it has great greens and yellows and reds inside of it. And I decided to not work the dark purple that's still on top in hopes that when I shine it, it'll show up as good as the green and reds and yellows do. Because if it does, it's going to be an amazing stone. If I polish it and the purples don't show up very good at all, or the blue that's hiding right there doesn't show up very good at all, then I'll just go ahead and carve it some more and try and capture that fire engine red that seems to be below the purple, which has a yellow right below it, and then it goes to the red. If you can't see the red in some of the areas where I'm pointing at the red, where I can see it on my screen, then your screen settings might be off, or you might be colorblind. It could be screen difference too. Maybe I'm seeing things differently than you are. But in general, I'm not just seeing this red in my eyes. I'm seeing it on a TV that's posted in front of me, so you should be seeing it too. Yep, that does actually happen. There is a reflection that'll come back. This red specifically, the whole top of it is completely red, but to you guys, it's probably like black almost. But to my eye, it is the color of blood. That is the color of blood. If you were to put that on a ring stone, and it's going to be surrounded, it's got green on the outside with a little ring of yellow with a dead blood red in the center. See, you see orange. Okay, but that depends, right? Because once again, here we go. Right here in the center, that dead center, that's red on my screen and to my eyes. It's ringed by orange, and there's green ringing that orange. And then in some of this, there's purples and yellows, and it sort of depends on how it turns. But the camera does not quite catch it like the naked eye, no. But this camera catches it pretty close. This is a good 4K camera. It cost me $1,200 when I bought this camera, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Actually, longer than that, possibly. I bought this camera when I was doing 1 minute fire agate sales. This was something, we had a really good weekend. We sold like $3,000 on a weekend or $2,000 on a weekend, and I bought this camera for most of that money. It was like $1,200. Let's see. Didn't I already put this one in front of you guys? I thought I already put this one in front of you guys. See, the purples and the blues really don't want to show up very good. This stone is purple and blue going all the way across, and these little berries on top are purple and blue too. This is not showing up at all. I swear I showed that before. And then this one I've recarved. I'm not sure if I did this on the live stream when I recarved it or not, but it's going to, once being polished, it should be absolutely fantastic. I keep thinking about maybe going for this section right here. Focus, camera, dang it. There we go. I keep thinking about repolishing this section right here with a 600, but because that section went away, I'm scared of it. The rest of it's such great color that it has one dead spot from where it got broken off the wall, which is right there. And honestly, I don't care. This like needs to go into a ring or, something that's made specifically for it. Because as far as fire agate go, they really don't get much better than that. Purple, red, and green. That's about as good as I get. At one point, I thought about cutting it into 2 stones, but it's a special stone. Now, the next stone I'm going to work on for you guys is one that I rushed through not too long ago. I think I fixed this one on stream with you guys. Yeah, semi-fixed it. It's got such a dark line right there that I might need to go over it again, but the rest of it has pretty good colors, so... I hate it when I look up and I'm not on screen. I've been talking about stuff. See, I mean, this is a Slaughter Mountain piece, but this is a piece that was tumbled, and then, you know, I got it, and then it's been carved since then. This is a piece that wasn't tumbled. It's been carved since then. It has sort of some of the same issue as the other piece, but purple is a really hard color to capture, so... And I don't think I have too many more you guys haven't already seen. This is one that until it looks polished, it doesn't look that great. And then once it gets polished, it looks fantastic. It has one section that has really bright greens and reds. But I've gone trying to catch those sections on the edges over here, and I end up going dead color. So I was sort of happy with the levels of green I have going on in this stone right here. Just going to go ahead and take those, because once it's polished, it's pretty much going to look like this, and it's still a really great representation of a fire agate, especially compared to what most fire agate look like that people see, because most of those fire agate that people see are windowed and cut on machines. They don't even have that much really good color in them. Oop, that's going to a friend. This one's going to a friend. These are the two you guys have seen before. These are going to the homie. One of the homies. I got more stones to carve for homies, but this one's going to one of the homies. These two are going to two of the homies. This is all stuff that's going to get polished tomorrow, actually. And you guys have seen everything else. This is probably the last one you guys haven't seen yet. This is one I thought was going to be really amazing. And I mean, honestly, for as far as fire agate go, it's still pretty cool. It's really bright golds and yellow and orange, and then a really green, and sort of has the shape of a continent. Continent on a different planet, but, you know, a continent. I mean, it's a really large stone. And this is one of those things to where fire agate and carat weight don't really go together. Because you can see how big this stone is, right? But it's not thick. But it's still... Oh, there I go. I broke some. Right on the good color, too. Well, I should have backed it, but whatever. I got two stones now. At least the part that broke's completely green. So... it's still a big stone. It still has plenty of green in it. And I would have gone under that yellow for more green, except for I tested and it started running out. So the bright green was down here, and the weaker green underneath the yellow would disappear if I kept going for it. So that's the stone I took. But it's really thin. It could be backed, but fire agate's not a really fragile stone. Like, I had enough... That's really, really thin, number one. Like, that section is super thin. And then I had enough leverage with that super thin to actually break it by hand. Yeah, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. It's still a really great looking stone. I mean, as far as other stones I've seen for fire agate, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And look, I still have all these other beautiful ones I haven't even gone through yet. I'm going to re-polish all of these if they haven't already been polished. You know what? This one might be like that. Oh, no, I see why. It's got some greens in it, but It's multicolored, and it has thin layers of color that start to disappear. So that's why I quit messing with that one. That'll be something when you start carving fire agate. So if you're going to carve fire agate and you want to carve fire agate for money, don't buy low-grade material. If you want to practice on fire agate, practice on good material, but plan on wasting $200. Literally, you're going to learn better that way. People that think that you can carve garbage fire agate and learn how to carve fire agate don't understand fire agate, because the thing about fire agate is the multiple layers of color and getting lucky to having them stacked on top of each other with lots of color bars of actual color, whether it's blues, greens, reds, or whatever. Once you get into the bronzes and the oranges, there's really bright, great orange, but there are the orange that's just outside of the bronze. And there's really great, bright gold and yellow, but there's gold and yellow and that's just outside of the bronze. And the bronze is really the commercial fire agate. It's the number one color you're going to find everywhere. It's the closest color to rust. But as I've seen in my Opal Hill fire agate, that you can have something that looks exactly like rust and you get it wet and it might look green or it might look red. So that rust inside of the fire agate is what's actually creating the color. And even though something looks 100% bronze, doesn't mean there's not absolutely fantastic red or purple just under that bronze, depending on where the fire agate comes from. My overall point would be that if you want to carve fire agate for money, you want to save time. Because in order to get a stone done regardless, you're going to spend 8 to 10 hours per stone on a good, easy stone to carve. On a hard stone to carve, you can spend upwards of 30 hours, no problem, if you're really concerned with the flow of the original stone and capturing all of the fire that's in it, because the flow of the original stone is how you're going to capture all of that fire that's in it. And following the flow of the original stone, you can see how it lays. You want to follow that, keep your motion circular, trying to keep as little flat spots as possible, while at the same time keeping the original integrity shape of the stone. That's why mine are coming out the way they are. Other people's aren't coming out that way because when you go and put an window on wheels, when you go and you window and you're taking a rough grit and you're pushing straight down on a stone and you're not working round around the stone with the shape of the stone and the bitroidal naturalness of the agate, then you end up pushing through color bars. And you can tell by the way that you're looking at a color bar, and you can see that color bar going, and then it stops. And then sometimes the color bar will be so thick that if there's water on it, you'll still see it flow over it. But if it's dry, you'll see that flat spot, and that color bar will stop and then continue again. So the trick is to try and not do that as much as possible. Because if you're working on a piece of fire agate that's like this, which I'm going to get into videos of this really soon. If you're working on a piece of fire agate that's like this, you want to get rid of all that white chalcedony, and you want to get as close to that brown dark agate as possible without actually digging into it. Because that's where your color is typically going to start. Now, I've found one piece of fire agate off of all of the good fire agate I've carved, one piece of fire agate where there was amazing color in that white. And I burned through it without actually finding out what was there until it was too late. And I still have that piece of agate unfinished to this day. But it was a really, really rare bird that happened. And typically, you're more likely to find fire inside of clear chalcedony than opaque white chalcedony the way that this is. And now I'll go look at what you guys are saying because I've been fucking rambling and haven't read anything. Steve, as soon as I can get out in the wilds, I will mine whatever the hell I can get my hands on. 1 second. I have a hunter-gatherer personality, and I never understood this until this last year. This last year and the experiences I had with the Crazy Casboys store, which I haven't made that video because I want to prove to myself I can succeed without making that video, and I'm probably going to do that regardless. I just need to make the damn video. The hunter-gatherer mentality absolutely makes me feel fulfilled while I'm out there getting it. But it's the same thing as treasure hunting. Like, if you like treasure hunting, this is your deal as long as you don't mind tough work. Because, you know, if you go to a good claim, whether it's fire agate or opal or whatever in the world, as long as it's actually a gem quality claim, and you're willing to put the stress and the work and the effort and the investment into it, when you start succeeding at that, it has an amazing feel. It has that on top of the world ma sort of feel. It has that, you know, I'm the king of the world sort of feel with what's his name on the edge of the Titanic and his arms all out, Leonardo DiCaprio. It totally has that I'm winning big right now. That you're watching Gold Rush on Discovery. You're watching any of the treasure hunting shows on Discovery. It has that feel deep inside, and it is a tough feeling to compete with. There are very few feelings that compete with that sort of thing, and all of them are adrenaline. Everything that competes with that feeling is absolutely adrenaline. In my opinion, it might be something different for somebody else, but for me, it's the same feeling I get as when I'm on. It's not the same. It's different, but it's similar to the feeling I get when I'm on stage and I'm playing music for people that I've practiced a lot, and I know I'm in my zone, and they're feeling it and they're loving it and they're feeding that energy back to me. And now I'm not just playing what I practiced, but I'm playing inside of what I've practiced. And to a musician, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And to somebody that's not a musician, what that means is that you've practiced something so many times that when you're playing it now live, that everything you practiced that was hard is now easy. And there's extra space in between all of those notes for you to do other stuff you would have never thought was possible until you put the practice in to make such things that you never thought were possible extremely easy. Not even extremely easy, just easier. To where there's room, there's space. It's that same sort of feeling when you're on the treasure. It's different, but it's the same. It's you are owning the world. You're like, oh my God, everything's right now. It was worth it. I'm correct. That's probably what it is. It's probably a fuck the world, I'm right, everybody else is wrong. That might be what it is now that I think about it. A little bit of an epiphany moment right there. What do you mean by maybe? Oh, maybe see you because of the tourmaline mine that's opened up there that the crystal collector went to recently. Yeah, you might see me there. At the same time, I'm not following in that guy's footsteps. I'm not trying to make videos he's making right behind me. Me and him have different opinions on how things should be presented to our viewers, and I personally, there's 300 different spots inside the United States to dig. I wish I dug where he dug. The tourmaline he pulled out looks great. I can't wait to go there, but it's not going to be on the top of my hit list because it's somewhere I haven't been before, or because there's tourmaline there, specifically because other people have dug there like him. I would much rather show you guys something you haven't seen yet, that you don't know yet, that you can go out and find, whether it's a fee dig or whether it is something that you can go out and dig yourselves, or whether it's a claim that you can't dig but you can buy material from, because all of those have value to us, right? And hey, maybe you will see me in Valdosta. Wait, is that, I was thinking California. Is that Georgia? Nice. Steve just got permission to metal detect a Victorian resort. That should be fun. That should be something you find a little bit of something in. Even if it's just like pennies and nickels and dimes, you're definitely going to find something at a resort. Victorian resort. Resort now. So Victorian homestead that was like a plantation maybe or something like that, but didn't want to say the word possibly. Victorian, if it's in the United States, that's what I'm thinking. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos on that sort of stuff in like the last 5 years. There's a lot of people that do that sort of stuff. Every now and then they find some really cool stuff. Most of the time they find stuff that they're like, oh my God, look. And it's like a quarter or something that I think is not that awesome. But I don't really know the value. You know what I mean? If it's something that's worth like $5 and they're jumping up and down, obviously I don't think it's that great. That's cool. It's never been detected. That should be fun. Oh my goodness. What happened to me? Ugh. I went to sleep earlier last night than the night before. And almost all of my stones are ready for polish. There's a couple of things on them. Every time I think I'm absolutely ready to work on a stone, I see something else that makes me think I might want to fix it. So I like, you can see the green, you can see some color from pretty much all angles. You see yellows and reds and orange, and there's like there's a line here. Let me see if I can get it to stay focused while I tighten up. So you can see this line right there, right? But it's right on top of that orange, but really that line is the beginning of the yellow color that drifts across the top of the orange and really pools right there, that I'm hoping when I polish it out, it looks really awesome. But right now, before it's polished, it looks like I have two lines right there in the crease. So there's stuff like that I contend with all the time. And then there's stuff like, let's see, there's this one over here. Right here. So I want it to be dry when I'm showing it to you guys. 1890s Mountain Resort. Cool. That's awesome. Just don't bring your family and your kids up there, and it might turn out like The Shining. So, or maybe that's where The Shining actually came from. That's the idea. Ooh, scary. Anyways, I just noticed something else about this one. So, one thing I hate is edges. You don't want edges on. You always want to round your edges. You don't want sharp edges, because sharp edges chip and break, and that'll, damage somebody's gemstone. So, there's a sharp edge right here. I hate sharp edges on fire agate. On faceted stones, that's one thing. On fire agate, I really don't like sharp edges. I end up having a sharp edge right across there I got to get rid of. So there's something else on there. It's not quite ready for polish yet. But this stone really didn't look like it was going to be this great. And now you're right. There are lots of yellows showing up for you guys. You guys might be seeing through the reds too, because a lot of times I'm not convinced it's actually a red that I'm carving on until it's too damn late. This is one of those where that didn't happen. But at the pre-polish, look how red that is. Like, you can't even barely tell that's red. It just looks dark to you guys. And it's like grapes almost. Wondering how it's going to show up once it's polished. Once it's polished, I think it's going to look fantastic because the light's really going to reflect through it. Going over stuff we already went over. trying to stupid thing change. There we go. There we go. I mean, there's a couple of tiny touch-ups I have to do. I really should have set those on the side, but I'll look at them tomorrow before I actually take them to polish. I have to take them to polish ASAP. I need to bring some money in. I have some more short videos for you guys. What do you guys think of the short videos? What's your opinion on them? My opinion is I actually like making them. But there's a fine line between being actually informative and teaching. You know what I mean? And I almost feel like I should be putting that out, a 5-minute video and an hour-long video. Like an hour-long video a week, and then 5-minute videos all week, and then like 1-minute videos 3 times a day. That's how I feel I should be doing that. There's supposed to be 13 of you here. What is there, 3 left because I started talking instead of carving? That wouldn't surprise me at all. But I plan on coming back tomorrow, so. Damn, I didn't even make it a full 2 hours, huh? Not yet. Oh. Actually, 2 hours and 5 minutes so far. Margaret says she likes them, gives you a lot of info in a short bite. The funny thing is that I will record an hour's worth of video, and then I will cut it all down, and then I will re-edit the voiceovers, because I'll actually have edited it where I was talking, and then I'll have to make it more concise and more concise and more concise. Because as you guys know, I'm obviously a long-winded bastard that likes to talk. I appreciate you guys like them. Do you think that I should add longer versions of them too? Or maybe I should just start a shorts channel. I've also been thinking about just adding videos to my Coleco Wheels of Steel channel. I have a Coleco Wheels of Steel channel, but I used to only use that for Patreon. So I'd put up Patreon videos that had no commercials, and I would post them on the Coleco's Wheels of Steel channel, and then post them unlisted, and then post the link on my Patreon so that people could view them. So it has no subscribers. There's, a few videos from when I was using Patreon and stuff like that. But I've been thinking about doing daily vlogs on there instead of on here, and trying to keep this about rocks and gemstones of some kind, and then doing daily vlogs about what's going on, because the reality is that my life is a crazy shit mess no matter what I'm doing. I have another fucking hole in my roof. I'm dealing with my landlord's trying to be good landlords, and then they just can't help it because their people that work for them are shit. I mean, that's pretty much the way it seems to be to me, at least. It's like one crazy event after another, and I try to ignore it and move on, but it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. Life hates me, but I'm not going to accept that shit. I'm trying to fuck that bitch called life. I mean, the algorithm hates me, Spooky, but I thought it was just me until I started seeing guys that are much bigger than me and blew up way faster than me, and they were very religious about their content. They weren't like me in that I let myself diverge from what my content was so I could put anything up, because you sort of had this whole 2 factions, right? You have post only good content, and then you have post any content just to keep posting, or else the algorithm's going to forget about you. And so I sort of split the two. I wanted to only post good content when I could, and I did that. And then when it became I couldn't only post what people wanted to see, it was sort of anything. And I would say it's hurt me, but it's kept me afloat instead of just dying, maybe. Because I'm still on the positive of gaining subscribers. Not much, but it's some. And I have seen channels that have only posted fantastic content, and their channels are almost dead right now. And they blew up really hard in like the first year, even though they only posted content every 2 months. But now I see almost nothing from these channels, and the content they posted, though, is absolutely fantastic. Whereas with guys like Pioneer Pauly, he posted good enough content all the time, and then he started investing everything he was making back into the channel, thinking he was ready to blow up, and he got over 200,000 subscribers. And now he's posting up stuff about how he can't afford to continue with the content he wants to continue with, which I understand. It's not easy to pay for professional cameramen and cameras, which I think is a mistake. You shouldn't pay for professional cameramen and cameras. You should pay for people that believe in the dream, and you should pay them more if you can than what they would get paid at the job they would be working before. So, if they're not super professional people, sort of what you're shooting for, and you can afford to pay them more than the $600 they were probably making, way less than that at the Burger King, Waffle House, McDonald's, whatever, and they believe in the dream, or they're, better yet, partner with YouTubers, which is what in my mind, I would like to partner with somebody that has the same sort of idea that I do, doesn't have to be exactly like me, but wants to make content all the time, and then we can help each other. Travel and help each other. That's what I would like. Although I'm actually talking to a production company right now, so let's hope that flies. If that flies, whoo, boy, we're off. Steve, I like the cat save videos too. Honestly, man, animals make me feel better about my life than anything else. I never had cats until recently, and with this house, I bought cats for other people. I lived with other ladies' cats, but I never had cats for me. And when I went out and found Felix, and when I went out and found Sheba, his name was Chuckles, and hers was Sheba Shell. I swear they named them horribly, so you're forced to rename them. Now these cats I have are so freaking amazing. I don't understand how I never understood that cats were so cool before. I always heard people talk about them and post stuff online, but I was just like, but there was a good period of time in my life where I hadn't owned a dog that I had actually vibed with, and I'd owned dogs that were always for somebody else and became a giant problem. They always had issues that I was the one that always had to deal with it, and so it was a giant frustration. And so I completely lost my empathy for animals, I think. And then I had Chloe, and now I have these cats, and now my empathy for animals is like out the roof. And saving those 2 cats was like some of the best times of my life. And even my wife was saying like that was some of the best moments she's had in her life. The feeling that you have from these itty bitty baby animals, like the only thing that's as good as that is your own babies. I'm telling you right now, like it's amazing. And it's funny too, because you're rubbing these stupid little cats and they're pissing all over your hand, and at first it stinks, right? It's a horrible smell at first, like it's very pungent smelling. It's horrible because cat piss, right? And they're baby cats too. And then when these fuckers are gone, I still remember what that smell is like, and I actually have an olfactory missingness of it. It's a reminiscent, it's a nostalgic smell now that I actually miss. It's a sterile piss, weird. It doesn't smell like cats that pissed in my car smell. It totally, and yet I actually miss it the same way I would miss the smell of baby head. Like you never miss the smell of baby shit, right? But that smell of that sour milk smell they get on the top of their head in the soft spot is like the craziest, most addictive smell on the planet. I think the only smell more addictive than that is probably the smell of cocaine. I would totally save the cats all the time. I would. I mean, honestly, if you guys just started putting money in accounts and telling me to start going out and saving cats, I would fucking do that. I totally would. It feels great. But I love animals too. Like I really do. I always have loved animals. I just think that sometimes my empathy can get lost inside of my pain, and that for about 20 years I was living in a lot of confusion and pain. Dave Briggs, I get hit hard with the low metrics. I'm posting cool stuff on my own with what I got from areas rarely seen. Dave Briggs, I'd be happy to send you material. The Rogue River. Oh, so you're out in my old neighborhood, man. You're out in that Idaho and Oregon area, and fuck Idaho. Idaho has me really pissed off. I'm going to contact the Institute for Justice, and I hope to sue the shit out of Idaho so that they will release their bullshit charges they have on me, where they had no right to even invade my privacy the way they did, and their law is ridiculous anyways, that they can actually hold the law forever if you don't live in their state, but there's a statute of limitations if you do live in the state. What the fuck kind of crazy ass bullshit is this? Insane. Anyways, thank you, Shuri. Yeah, not right now, David. I appreciate the offer of sending me some material, but I don't want any extra material right now. I don't need any extra rocks right now. I have more fire agate than I know what to do with for my own carving pleasure. I need to sell some, but to people that actually want to pay the price to get proper material. I don't plan on being in Florida much longer. I'm trying to get out of here. I'm not trying to stay here. I'm not a fan of this state. I'm in this state because my kids are here. I love my kids. I have a 12-year-old daughter. I have a 15-year-old son. I have an 18-year-old son, almost 16, almost 8. No, he's almost 18. I'm here to be near them, but I want to be on the road. The West Coast is having it really hard right now this summer, but honestly, that's where I want to be. I want to be out near the fire agate mine. I want to be out near all the other gemstone mines. I want to be making videos about the West, about history, and about a bunch of other stuff. I really want to get out of this area of the country, but I want to get my license too. The low metrics thing. There's a lot of things that go into the low metrics thing. And I understand how I have hurt my channel with YouTube. Unfortunately, YouTube did it first to me. The growth of this channel when I first started was really good for the amount of time when I started putting up the videos. But even bigger deal was the amount of money I was making off of the channel, off of the viewership, when there was only 500 viewers and 1,000 viewers and 1,500 viewers and 2,000 viewers was amazing compared to when the first ad apocalypse happened and all of a sudden I was getting nothing from the channel with more views than before. And then it just kept progressively getting worse. And I fed into that. Instead of leaning into making more content, my life got more difficult and I left making content to deal with my life on a separate page. What I really should have done is maybe split the channels and then, made content about everything all at the same time. It can be really hard to make content about your life, though, when you're in constant pain about your life. And you don't want to be bawling on the camera the whole time, because the one time I actually did that, my best friend was dying, and every time some asshole comes on there and says that you're being manipulative, it sucks. When you're not being manipulative, you're just being a fucking crybaby. Or me, I'm just being a crybaby. So anyways, ask another question, guys, or I'm going to go. Because I have definitely learned to do this in steps. The way I got almost all the carving done on those stones is by not working all of them at once. And anytime I would start to get sore, I would stop. And I have a lot more ideas for videos for you guys. I'm going to make some 5-minute videos and some 1-minute videos. I'm going to make some shorts, and then I'm going to put the short out, and then I'm going to put the 5-minute video out. so that you can get a taste of what the 5-minute video is going to be, and hopefully we can manipulate this algorithm a little bit. So if I start my posting daily videos on a separate channel that are specifically about whatever the hell I have going on every day, are you going to subscribe to it? Can I depend on 100 subscribers in a week? Fuck, 2 weeks? The first 1,000 is difficult, but the first 100 is really hard. And the way that my channel gets views right now, it is a niche. What I'm doing is a niche. Teaching this is a niche. People that are willing to spend the time to learn this, it's a total freaking niche. So it is what it is. Finding treasure, not so much a niche. Everybody that's still subscribed to this channel is waiting for me to go out and find treasure. I get that. I want to do that. It's a money thing. I know you will, Margaret. I was asking everybody but you and D and Modern Prospector. Dang it. I love you guys. If you have my home phone number, girl, you freaking better. Damn it. Anybody have the HBO Max app? They have the Big Bang Theory on there. When I'm carving stones, I will watch shows in the background while I'm carving or listen to podcasts and stuff. And so I watched the Big Bang Theory from like 2013 forward while I was watching these shows. And I never got it while I was on TV. Watching it in a series, I totally got it. And it was one of the best endings for a show I've ever seen, because it was like, I can't ruin it for you. Never mind. It was one of the best endings to a show I've ever seen. It's a great ending. The history thing is going to stay on this channel, Steve, but I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Let's see. So true about heading to the fire agate area. We can't wait to get back out to that part of the U.S. if the borders are even open. Cheers, Tony and Megan. Oh, hey, Tony. Yes. Well, I hope you guys will come and see me when I'm back out at the fire agate mine. I heard somebody else was posting some videos about opening the mine and how they claimed the mine and stuff like that, which, yeah, that person would be as ignorant as even more ignorant than me when I went out there the first time. Yeah, you can't claim that. That's totally claimed by Chris Rose. And he has the money to absolutely whoop a lot of people's asses in court. So that's sort of why I partnered with the guy. I hope nobody else is trying to open up anything out there, because I have plans for that, and I know Chris is pretty much waiting on somebody that can actually make the thing happen, because it's going to take some money. There's a knoll up above the dig spot, and that's the excuse the BLM was using for shutting me down. And I heard this person that was out there, and this is just happenstance hearsay. I haven't actually seen anything. Is all what somebody else told me. I heard the other person was talking with the BLM. The BLM was talking about opening it up with them, which I would find really funny, because they were using that knoll up above it as an excuse for it not to be open, as they were talking about it collapsing. No chance in hell it's going to collapse. It is possible for a rock to come off of there and nail somebody and kill them. But that's why you have hard hats. And it has to be a hard hat area until that knoll is blown off of it and drug out. But you're talking about probably 25 to 50 grand to blow that knoll out. Maybe more. But I'm thinking at least that. And that's if you rent equipment for somebody to come in there and pull it out. If you buy equipment to do that, which is really what we need, is to buy the equipment. We're probably talking about more than that. Probably talking about around $100,000 on used equipment, on used auction equipment. Which the best way to do is buy that stuff at Richie Bros Auctions and then have a really good mechanic go over it. That's the best way to save money on that equipment. But where are you at right now, Tony and Megan? Are you guys living in the U.S. now, or are you guys still just visiting? Okay, bye, Cherie. I'm out soon too, Cherie. I'm just hanging out with my friends. It's been a week since I did a live stream with you guys. I was feeling really bad about that. I thought I was going to get more stuff done here than I actually did get done. But I keep thinking about waking up and doing a vlog. And I don't want to pollute this channel with it because I did that once and everybody hated it. So I think that the algorithm would like it more if I just did something that's from blank and started from zero. And honestly, there's also this aspect of this production company. I mean, this guy I've been talking to the last little while, I really believe in him. Like, I mean, we've only talked on the phone and we've only talked through text. But I like this guy. He's real. I consider myself a good judge of when somebody's bullshitting me and lying. I mean, I've been taken before, and there's times when people tell me things I want to hear and I believe them, but most times when people are telling me things I want to hear, I don't believe them. This guy, I'm on this guy's team, man. Like, I believe this guy. His name is Jacob. I absolutely believe this guy. I'm hoping that it turns out half as good as his optimism is. Because if it turns out half as good as his optimism is, I believe it will carry on to a bunch of other stuff. Really, really excited. And I absolutely believe because I'm really, really excited, it's going to amount to absolutely dog shit nothing. Because that's the way my life goes. That's just the way it is. It's just when things seem really, really, really great, but I have no control over them, they're not going to be really, really, really great. That's just tends to be how that is. When I have no control, and they're not going to be really, really great. Oh, but hey, look at this. I got everything organized. I cleaned all types of stuff. I organized all kinds of stuff. I made it to where I could like pan a camera across it if I wanted to. But now I'm just like filling up time talking to you guys because I don't have any friends. That's not true. All my friends have jobs. And just for those assholes in Portland that were calling me a racist, for you fucktards in this town, in Pensacola, all my friends are black. All of them. The only people I know in Pensacola, well, I know a couple white people, but only people I hang out with are black. The white people I know don't hang out with me. Still in Queensland, Australia. Yeah, jealous about the Australia part, although I'm telling you what, with the frickin' fire agate I'm carving right now, man, the only thing that even comes close to competing with that in my mind is black opal. White opal is not even close. Even like, I mean, the Belemite stuff, yeah, it's pretty cool, but the colors, man, like, oh man, the stuff I'm carving right now, Megan and Tony, I'm so happy in what I did that season that I was out in the mines, and I'm really, really happy that I didn't just off everything for cheap prices because the quality of the fire agate I have is it's great as long as you understand how to work it properly. And as long as I was depending off of information I was getting from other people that their materials all coming from other mines, and my best interest was not their best interests, the information I was getting was totally faulty and not working properly. The information I have now and the way that I've learned to do things is working really, really great. As you can tell from the amount of color that's coming out on these stones, this first parcel I'm going to put out is going to be great. Oh, well, guys, unless you guys have a quick question real quick, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm probably going to come back really soon. I'm going to post a video tomorrow. I'm going to post a video the day after that. I'm going to try and post longer videos than just 1 minute videos. I'm going to try and do both 1 minute and like 5 minute videos that cover a single subject. Specifically about carving fire agate right now, because that's what I specialize in, and I know more about that than I know of other things. And honestly, as far as this version of fire agate, I know more about it than most people on the whole planet. So let people say whatever they want. I got this, man. Great question, Steve. Saving the day to keep me rambling. That is a really good one. Thank you, Tony and Megan. Steve, what is the story on Mexican fire agate? Can you ask a broader question? I don't know the story on Mexican fire agate. Meaning, yes, I see great color out of Mexican fire agate. I haven't seen actual rough on the market that is good quality. I've only actually seen windows. And all the windows I've seen have been windowed through most of the good color bar layers. And the good Mexican fire agate carved stones that I've seen coming out don't look like they're actually carved. It looks like somebody is carving them on lapidary machines, and that they are waiting until they get ones that are stacked with really good color bars, and then they're pushing those color bars out. And the way you can tell is that the stone is like oscillating colors as it drips around the stone. And I've only seen stones like that specifically coming out of Mexico right now. And the biggest thing or tell about them is that if you'll notice, like a lot of my stones, even at pre-polish, the color is on at all angles, right? So let's see. Let's grab the one this one right here. Whoops. Focus, damn it, camera. All right, so the color's on at all angles when I go and turn it, right? Until it's like at such an angle where you just can't see anything. The color's on at all angles. There's not a brown cap on it. So on these fire agate I'm specifically talking about that have those dripping colors going all around the side and they're really bright, the top of it's totally brown, and then you can see like the dripping colors going down the sides of them. And I'm not sure exactly why until I would have a chance to actually carve it as a piece of rough. But I think in my summation, in my estimation, in my guess, is that they're finding color bars that are really stacked on top of each other that might have really thin or non-existent layers of brown and bronze in between them. Because most fire agate has a layer of bronze in between color bars. So you'll have like green, bronze, red, bronze, green, red, bronze. Like rarely do you have it to where it's a nice color bar on top of a color bar on top of a color bar, but that does happen. And Slaughter Mountain is the one that's most famous for that happening like that, to where it's just color bar stacked on color bar. But it seems like maybe they haven't figured out how to carve the fire agate properly, or the tools, affording the tools to carve fire agate properly might be more expensive for them than having lapidary equipment and carving it on lapidary equipment and then getting a stone that is, cabochoned instead of one that's like that, and that maybe the color bars are like that. Now, I think that if I got rough from there that's good quality rough, I'd have no problem carving a stone that looks the same as the one I was just showing you that I showed you. Because the reality is that if you have a brown spot in the middle of your stone, it's not as valuable. If the stone is nonstop color from all sides, that's going to make an opal head go, wow. That's going to make somebody that knows about black hole be like, what the fuck is that? Like, they're going to take notice. They're going to love your stone. If it's a stone that you have to angle, that you have to turn to get it to show, if it's like an opal that only sparkles in motion, then it's not as awesome. It's not as cool. It's not as valuable. The price is not as up there. That green stone right there, that's a $500 stone regardless of the carat weight, because it's a ring stone and is nonstop color from all angles. That's a $500 stone on eBay, guaranteed. I have no problem charging that all day. Because the color is on from all angles, it is better than a red stone that you can only see at certain angles, right? I mean, that's just like, that's, if you have a red stone that's on at all angles, then it's going to be more valuable than a stone that only shows a little bit, right? And this is something that has to be more well known, and we need a better bracket of value inside of fire agate and the way the colorations go, because it took them forever to get this sort of a bracket of color and evaluations in the way that opals run, and we don't have that for fire agate at all. I mean, really, the evaluation of fire agate can completely go. You might find a great carved stone from somebody and be able to buy that at a rock show for $200, and you might find a jeweler that's willing to give you $1,500 for it, and that jeweler might put it in gold, and they might get $7,000 for that stone once that stone's put in $1,000 worth of gold. That is really how it goes and how it should go. But there's factors that go into all of that. It's all not just a spectrum of what the stone is valued to other people, but what money is valued to those people. You know what I mean? Like, the final person that buys that stone, spending on that stone might not even be the same cost to their daily expenditure as what somebody is buying a candy bar or a bottle of water, because we live in that world. It's not just kings and queens that have 1,000 times more than peasants now. It's other regular people. So I'll quit ranting. I've been ranting. All right, so that's my story for Mexican fire agate. You asked me a broad question. I talked for 35 freaking minutes. I got bit by that damn mosquito too. I don't even see him. I know he's in here somewhere, but I got bites on my arm now. Bastard. Kills me. See, dude, I have so much fire agate rough that I haven't even touched, right? Like, when I pull something out of the ground that's that big, it's so hard for me to get something out of the ground that's that big without breaking it. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I think this is worth $1 million when I pull it out of the ground and I'm mining. And then most of my stones end up being, small stones. Even a very, very large piece of fire agate like that's going to end up probably cutting a couple of small stones out of it. And then this. You have no idea how much work it took me by hand with chisels, hammers, to get this hunk of chalcedony that is basically a giant pocket, or the pocket, with a whole bunch of calcite on it and everything else out in one chunk. I mean, you have no idea. Like, you can see colorful fire agate right here on the edge and stuff like that. Like, this probably took me a day and a half. I probably spent a day and a half working the rock around this in hopes to get this out of the ground in one whole chunk. And now, with the way I'm carving fire agate, I have no fucking idea what to do with it. None. I have no idea what the hell to do with this thing. Bye, Tony. I know there's fire in it, and it's got levels too. It's got different levels, but I don't know what the hell to do with this thing. I sent pieces like that out to people that bought grub stake boxes while I was out at the mine, people that bought fire agate boxes while I was out at the mine. And I'm positive there's a majority of them that didn't even appreciate, what I'd sent. But they're probably like me. What the hell am I to do with this? What, same question, but Slaughter Mountain? I love Slaughter Mountain, and I love supporting anything that is Native American. God damn, mosquito got me like 3 times on my arm while I was carving. I love supporting anything Native American. Slaughter Mountain, hands down, is renowned for some of the best fire agate in the world. There is a reason all those people, they're not wrong. All those carvers that chase it down, they're not wrong. They just haven't had access to Opal Hill stuff for a number of years, and a lot of people have just been stealing from the claim because they know it's a private claim and they know it's not theirs to use, but they make money off of giving tours and stuff up there. So, you know, they do what they do because it might not be theirs and it might not be legal, but nobody's going to arrest them for it. So you're going to harass me. You're going to harass me when you expect. He's getting too much love now. Go on. No, you're going to stay? You done? Yeah. Mosquitoes get me driven crazy. No. All of the stones you see me carving, unless I say otherwise, I have a few stones that I have left from Slaughter Mountain. All of my stones are from California. All of my stones are from Chris Rose's claim. But I spent a lot of time at that mine, walking up and down that mountain. I spent a lot of time mining that ground. I understand it from a perspective that most people that go out there and dig never will. I'm neurotic and a bit of an asshole when I think I understand how to do something and I explain it to you and you don't quite get it. I don't understand that maybe you didn't get what I was saying. And in my mind, you're choosing to do something different. And so while I was out there and I had feed diggers that would come out there, I would chew them out sometimes and not realize I was being such a freaking asshole. And I left a few of them with a bad taste while they left. But literally, I'm being an asshole because I want them to be successful. And what I see them doing is not going to make them successful. They're going to leave a failure. And at the same time, I don't understand how hard I work next to the average person and that I think I'm slacking and the average person can't keep up with what I do when I am slacking. That's what I found out with these type of scenarios, is that I will outwork 3 people and not understand why they're not understanding what I'm telling them. So yeah, all my fire agates from all the stuff you see me with, all the big stuff behind me, that's all stuff I mined myself. I'm not allowed to mine Slaughter Mountain because I'm not a native to Slaughter Mountain. So that's a whole, you need to be a native to that mine to be able to mine it. That's one of those, if you want Slaughter Mountain rough, I got to contact my boy. But he's sort of disappointed in me in the last 2 times I ordered stuff from him. I sent both of them back to him. 1, because my buyers weren't really buying at the time. And 2, because my buyers always want to see color. You know, if you guys see, if I'm auctioning off stones, you're not going to buy it by the size and because it's copper. If you see purple, you're going to buy it more. You see green, you're going to buy it more. Even if you're not going to be able to actually pull that green out of the stone because it's already been windowed through. Because that happens. That's what happens when you window stones like that. And that's why people that understand the stone don't want to window stones like that. They want to sell you an amount of stones, and they want you to pay a fair amount for a bunch of stones that you might not see color in, trusting the fact that they know what they're digging out of the ground and you're going to get good shit in the long run. Like that's what all the miners want you to do. They want you to pay a fair price for what they're pulling out of the ground, regardless of whether you see color or not. Because once we go and rub it and start exposing color, we want way more money than most people are willing to pay. Why ouch? What's the ouch for, Steve? since it's me and you having a conversation and 11 other people just hanging out. Thank you for being here, 11 people. It makes me excited that you're just willing to sit here and absorb whatever the hell we're talking about right now. Stupid mosquitoes. I can't believe they get in my house. I think they get in my house because of my air conditioners. I think that's probably get in my house. ACs. I think they get near the blowing and the AC goes and sucks them in and blows them right in my house. That's what I think. Oh, being able to mine slaughter, that's never actually been an option. There are special cases where a native resident can get a non-native to dig the mine with them. It's very, very rare. Does not happen very often at all. I have been in talks with my buddy out there. That is a possibility of happening at some point in time when we put a bunch of money in his pocket. He's interested in having a video made for posterity of his family and the mines. But they have had nonstop problems with people that don't care about who has rights to what. People find out about things on native reservation land, and then they don't give a shit it's on native reservation land, and they'll go and do whatever they want on it, or at least that's the view of some people, some natives on the land. So, oh, that was the story with turquoise and peridot. Yeah, that is absolutely that's another Navajo thing too. I think turquoise is on Navajo land too. There's plenty of turquoise that's not on Navajo land, but I mean, tit for tat's all's fair. Unfortunately, with that whole scenario, I mean, being that I have some native blood in me, and it's been a long time since I read the book, and I didn't finish it, unfortunately, but there's a People's History is written by A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn. It's a great book. Absolutely gives you the perspective of the oppressed instead of just the victor in the United States, especially. You drive onto a few reservations and understand that you're on reservations and understand that there are absolutely things that are there are situations that are being oppressed upon the natives of those lands with water quality issues and pollution issues, to where they're literally letting like a factory pollute the water as it goes into the reservation. And so the fresh water that was fresh, before is not fresh. It's green, like neon green, flowing into the reservation out of a plant that they allowed to be built on the water stream that runs into the reservation. Like, I've seen this with my own eyes before. It's crazy. It's insane. But at the same time, look at the way politicians will fuck white people. They'll fuck some Native Americans like that. Like, I mean, come on, give me a break. I mean, all you need to do to think about that sort of stuff is the killdozer. You don't think people are malicious, self-serving bastards that have no problem ending your life to benefit theirs? Then just go watch the story of the killdozer, because I'm absolutely on the side of the dude that built his bulldozer. Absolutely on his team. He didn't get in that dozer thinking he was ever going to get out of it. And when he had chance to harm people that weren't in his actual purview of the people that harmed him, he decided not to. Like, he thought about it. He pulled that dozer up and he was like, I'm gonna. And he's like, thought about it. And then he turned that thing away and went someplace else. Oh, no. If I was him, I probably would have ran that killdozer right over those gas tanks and blown all that shit up. Fuck that town board. Although, if I was him, he's nicer than me. If I was a guy like that, I would have got all ninja on them. He was all blatant. He wanted that shit to be all, like, in the news. They would have just been talking about some crazy ass dude with me. That killdozer shit's some awesome shit. in its own way. All right, guys. I think I have rambled enough about shit like the Killdozer and rocks and gemstones in general. I'm going to be back with more videos hitting you rather regularly. Feel free to support the channel in any way you possibly can because videos like this are not monetized. Live streams get no monetization. That's why you never saw a commercial. Doesn't really matter because I don't make jack off the monetization anyways. But I love you all for watching. Thank you for being here. I will have more stuff to carve. The next stone we're going to carve. I turned my lights off. Let me turn at least one more back on. The next stones we're going to carve is going to be this one. This is a stone that I polished and carved on live stream trying to do it all in one sitting, and I did a really poor job of carving this stone. It's got a great polish on it. It's very wet looking, but this can be a much better stone. And so I'm going to make this a much better stone next time that we are live. This is going to be the one I make a better stone next time we're live. And the next videos and shorts and quick pretties are going to be of all the stuff that's ready to be polished. I'm going to be doing some quick 15-second and 1-minute videos for the TikTok and for the Instagram of the pretties that are all pre-polished and ready to go to final polish. And then if you are interested in any of the stones that you saw tonight, hit me up privately because I'm not putting them up for really cheap prices. I am in contact with 2 different jewelers, and I am trying to get a set amount for those. I don't know what just happened to my camera. My camera just stopped. Oh, it's back. It just lagged and switched the view for some reason. No big deal. It's not quite at the zoom it was supposed to be, but it's no big deal. What was I saying? I completely forgot my train of thought. That dang camera screwing up got me blanked. I really don't like it when you see my whole body. I like it better when it's just a chest shot. Anyways, next videos will be on that stone. I'll be posting a bunch of shorts and some little bit of polishing videos of the really pretties that are coming up and some to shine videos. And I do have a giveaway coming up. And for all my special people, that magic number is 9. Remember the magic number. The giveaway is going to be based off of the magic number. If you don't have the magic number, you don't have a chance at one of the free giveaways. So that's for my live stream people. I love you all for watching. Thank you for being here. And if you want to carve fire agate, you should really buy the 250 lot. That one big green rock in there is worth way more than the 250 once it's carved. That one, let alone the other ones that are there. Somebody should really buy that. I love you for watching. Bye. Peace. Good night, Margaret and Catfish and